listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show.
Oh, yeah. Percussion.
All right.
I love it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another recap of The New Normal, episode 11, season 1, Baby Proofin'.
Baby proofing.
That's right.
Yeah.
I am your host, Lauren Leonelli.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree.
I love that. Hi, I'm.
You can't.
I know, right?
It's hard.
I'm Tara Johnson.
We try to match.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
There we go.
Hi.
Thank you. Hey. Oh my gosh, I just love that. I can't do it as good as you.
I can't do it.
Well, we will try. And we are also going to try and recap this episode for you guys tonight. It was, of course, getting in the Christmas spirit. It had a lot to do with, them decorating their house. And I noticed Christmas decor from the beginning of the episode. And the baby proofing went a little cray-cray this time. Right? We were all kind of like, it got a little, there were parts. Sherry O'Terry was on again. I mean, we first saw her when she was helping them learn CPR and first aid and things like that. And she obviously came back as what she calls herself, the baby concierge, to baby-proof the house. And she entered the episode rolling down the stairs. Like, I thought it was Shania at first. I was like, is
Totally.
Shania fall down the stairs? And then she gets up and she's all protected. She's like, that's what happens to baby. In the whole episode, she's basically reenacting all the different dangers that your house can pose to a child.
True.
It was kind of nauseating at some points. It was like, really, we get it. We really get it. The house is going to cause your harm to some babies. Like,
Right.
we get it.
Aww.
Yeah.
I was like,
Not
just
anymore.
put a bunch of bubble wrap around the place
Of
before you
course.
do all this. I mean, that's how it seemed. It was just everything.
Everything. And this is my opinion on that. I thought it was funny when Sherry O'Terry was doing it because she's so extreme, like
Outrageous.
choking herself on the pole for the blinds. Yeah, Stephen, that noise makes me nervous.
It's the worst noise in the world, isn't it?
It's like making me itchy or something. I don't have a problem. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why. And that too. That's not any of us for you guys listening. And that is a sound effect.
That's how I go to
Yeah.
bed every night
Jake cries himself to sleep
while drinking wine.
while drinking wine, which we will get
Oh,
into.
yeah.
But so as I was saying, Sherry O'Terry, I kind of thought it was funny when she was being very extreme and because that's her job. She's trying to sell these people on everything's dangerous and oh my gosh, and she's obviously so funny. But what really kind of weirded me out was when David was kind of going for it. And he is so the smart doctor, and he was like, at first, we all kind of thought, when he said Shania was hanging up an ornament, and Bryan said, oh, that's like a vintage mercury glass ornament. And David was like, well, we can't have that. It's glass and it's going to break. And it's too. And we're all. Meanwhile, he just said Shania, they had 5, or Goldie wasn't having the baby for 5 months.
Right. Isn't he an Isn't he an OBGYN?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't have tons of experience after the baby comes out and they take
Right.
them home, but come on, he should know a little bit more than this.
Well, the timetable is you have
Ding
plenty
dong,
of
hello.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of annoyed me a little bit. It was just like, I'm not buying that Bryan or that David would be that paranoid.
At this point.
Right.
Right.
He seems like the pretty lax one, the really relaxed, kind of cool one.
Yes.
Whereas Bryan is always like, woo, like, you know.
High strung.
Yeah, it's very high strung.
Bryan's the high strung one, which was why I kind of felt like the roles were reversed a little.
But
Yeah.
it felt uneven. It didn't seem like a real transition. It seems a little forced.
Yeah.
The eating part, I totally got from
Yeah,
I expected
totally.
if someone was going to do the eating
Right.
and someone was going to do too much drinking, I totally
Yeah.
got that. But
Yes.
this little role reversal didn't feel
Right.
Right
Yeah,
to me.
I agree. I thought
Yeah.
it was funny that Sherry O'Terry took it too far and extreme, but then when David started doing it, I didn't buy it either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then they also had their own vices. We feel like the theme of the show this time was there are certain things that you have to give up even if they make you uncomfortable because the end result is worth it. In this case, it's the baby.
Right.
And this episode's it focused on each individual's journey through that, what they had felt like they had to give up. Everything was different. Everyone had a vice, and Bryan's was drinking a lot. A lot.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say when he poured that rosé, I was like, that looks really
I
good.
know she was.
Should we have some
You were
tonight?
like, ah.
I don't have it in this mug right here.
was
It's
gonna
just
say.
water, but I wish it was rosé. But he was drinking, and he played a pretty funny drunk guy. I always watch actors when they're meant to play drunk, and it is not an easy thing to do
Right.
because let me say, when you're drunk, you try to be as sober as you can.
Yes.
Like you are trying to speak clearly and you are trying to walk straight and you are trying to make sense, but you're not. And that's why I think playing drunk believably is hard to do. And I think that Bryan did it very well.
I
This
did
was very
too.
subtle.
Yeah.
Right.
I could see. What I liked about it is he was like focusing his eye contact like directly on him, and that's what I sometimes do when I'm a little drunk.
You drink?
Oh my God, I know. It's just.
I would have
It's my
never-
vice.
I would
It's
have
not really my
never
vice,
guessed.
but when I drink, that's what I do. Is like try to focus and really focus, and I loved that that's what he was doing because I'm like that's what people do in
That's what
normal
people
everyday
do,
life.
right?
Everyday life.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was subtle and funny. And so Bryan has this drinking issue, and he just says he's very stressed out about the baby, and it's the holidays, and there's all these excuses, and he just keeps saying, "Give me a little splash."
Right. Little splash.
To his wine, just a little splash. It's not going to hurt anybody.
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. There's all these excuses as to why it's
Absolutely.
fine, which I'm sure we all tell ourselves all the time too. I know I do. I'm like, what? I can eat stuffing every night for like 5 nights after Thanksgiving because it's the holidays.
It's the holidays. Anything goes.
God, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And David has the eating issue.
Right.
He is basically taking down cookies like
Nobody's business.
nobody's business.
I thought they were going to go more with the sympathetic pregnancy weight that normally the
Yes.
guy gains when the woman's. I thought they were going to go that angle as opposed to.
Oh, that would have been really
you know what I mean?
interesting.
Like, I thought
That'd
they were
been
going to
funny.
do that.
You know what? They totally could have thrown that in, just like as a little
Right.
subtle side note. It would have been funny that he was like basically sympathy eating or
Right.
gaining weight or whatever. Oh, they did not even touch
I
on
like
that.
that.
Should
Well,
have called me. Would have helped you out.
too bad Tara's not a
Ryan
writer.
Murphy, Ali Adler, get with it.
Come on. Yeah, it would that would have been good. But yeah, he again, they just blamed his excessive eating on stress
Right.
Yeah.
and the holidays.
But I didn't get his stress as much because he seemed to be going with the baby proofing so much that he didn't seem to be stressed. He just seemed to be, okay, this is what we have to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it. We're going to clear the deck of, this
Yeah.
entire house, start from the rooter to the tutor,
Yeah.
and make it baby proof.
To the tutor.
The
He
thing
was.
is, I'm like, where did this stress come from the two of them? Every episode, they're like, oh, our life is, so
Right.
kosher, cool. And this episode, it just all of a sudden welled up, and now they're drinking and eating too much.
Have you ever had a Thanksgiving that was not stressful?
Well, it wasn't Thanksgiving, Stephen. It was starting Christmas celebration.
yeah.
Oh, well, even more.
Just the holidays in
Yeah,
general.
seriously.
Well, yeah, no, that's a good point. I think that it could have just been the time of year and the holiday, and they're just dealing with getting used to thinking about this baby. But I see that side, but I do agree, though, Jake. I think that it was a little bit like out of nowhere based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They kind of just all of a sudden they were both really stressed.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a little forced. I mean, it's funny moments, and it's obviously very sitcom-y, if you will, but there were some times where it was like, okay,
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple of times in this episode I was like, where are we going? No,
Like where did you
what?
feel like specifically that happened?
I mean, I thought the scene with the sobriety check was funny, but I was really like, where is this kind of going? I just,
That's a good point, because where did it really go? They didn't get arrested, and we'll touch on that when we talk about Nana a little bit. But was there any other moments that you felt like, besides that it was just like an empty-ended storyline?
I mean, I love the scene with Bryan and Shania where she kind of breaks down everything, like, don't be so hard on yourself, that kind of thing. But even that seemed a little forced this time. It just seems like she was standing on a platform giving a speech, as opposed to normally she's kind of just, things happen, she's doing things, and she's being the adult, and they're not.
Yeah. And this time it felt like, and here's where I walk in and say, I'm going to wrap this episode up in a pretty little bow.
Life lesson, here it is.
It was like Full House.
Yeah.
For sure. She was back. I mean, because last week I think we said something that Shania, it was kind of hard to get her life lesson, because that's what her purpose usually is.
Right.
But I think that one of her life lessons is the modeling bad behavior. I felt like that kind of came into play because, she was drinking and eating too much.
She was
Just a splash.
Full House.
Yeah, without the twins, though.
Without the twins.
But if John Stamos wants to come on,
We would be more than happy
I
with
think
that.
John Stamos could play a hot gay ex-boyfriend.
all day.
Yes.
He could play my hot straight boyfriend, too. But
He could do that.
if
And
there's a part for a hot straight,
Yeah.
gay boyfriend.
We could also get Mary-Kate, or Ashley is who dated Justin Bartha.
That's right.
Wouldn't that
Bring
be
it
awkward if
back.
that was on?
That would be awkward, and I don't like the sound of that. So let's not bring that up in front of me. Very sensitive
she's very
about
jealous.
That's right. Sorry about that. We didn't mean to go that. We went too far.
very sensitive about Justin's exes.
I took it to a level it didn't need to go. I'm sorry.
Not today.
I'll let it go this time.
Okay.
But and Nana, we found out that she has, I mean, she didn't overindulge in anything really, or have like something that she felt like she needed to give up. But we saw Nana be very nice this episode.
Eggnog nice.
Eggnog nice is what they called it.
I wanted more of it.
Of the nice?
I wanted more of the nice as a contrast to how she normally is. Like it was just a splash of the eggnog nice.
It was a splash. She let it all out when they got pulled over. She let that side of her come out.
Oh, yeah.
But
Right.
she spent most of the episode drinking eggnog and smiling and dancing with Shania and not having some snarky comment. And that's when Bryan decides, I have this real estate party, our real estate agent, or a friend that's a real estate agent, who is Marlo Thomas.
Yes.
fantastic.
And she is having a big holiday party. Will someone go with me? Nobody wanted to go. He invited everyone except for Nana was like, okay. And it reminds us that Nana was trying to get into real estate. She did real estate in Ohio,
Right.
and she's trying to get back into it in LA. But she's really first working on her branding.
It's all about branding.
It's all about branding.
It's so funny that she is saying that.
Yeah.
Like, it's so LA, I
I was
think.
about to say everyone in LA is talking about their brand. It's like, hello, my name is Tara, and your brand is.
I know. Well, it's a little weird. But Nana, she jumped on the bandwagon, I guess. I don't really know. What do you think her brand is? If we could brand Nana, what would that be?
What was her Twitter handle?
Oh,
What was it?
Nana, your business.
was it?
Yes, I think
That
so.
was it, Nana?
Nana, your
It
business.
should be shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's crazy. She didn't have one of those zingers. Oh, there was a really.
There was a great
Wait,
singer.
there
Oh,
was.
yes. They went, I know what it was. They got to the holiday party. Tell me if this is what you're thinking. And the real estate agent says, oh, she's talking to them. And she says, I have to go because I just saw Justin Bieber over there. And I'm really trying to convince him to buy his mom a better beach house. And as she walked away, Bryan said, oh, Justin Bieber. I thought that was Hillary Swank.
Absolutely.
I mean,
He does-
how awesome was that line?
I mean, I love Justin Bieber, but he does look like a little.
A 14. He looks like a 14-year-old lesbian.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Oh snap.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
I mean, I have nothing against 14-year-old
14-year-old
lesbians.
Right.
And if I were a 12-year-old girl, I'd probably think he was totally hot because he's like, he's a cute boy. Like, he's not a man. So I
Right.
think those younger girls like that he's so boyish.
Yes.
But he definitely and Hillary Swank is a handsome woman.
Very
She is a
handsome.
very
That
handsome.
jawline. Whoo, child.
She's beautiful, but I mean, she's more handsome and he's a little femme. And so,
There you go.
that was a very, very honest
That was
comparison.
hilarious. I was like, Ryan Murphy was like, whenever he wrote that.
Dude, somebody was on it when they said, I love that comparison.
My zinger of the episode was when Brian said regular colored Band-Aids on Don Cheadle. I was like, oh my God.
That was the, you did not just say that
Yes,
moment.
that was,
Wait, that's Ellen.
That's Ellen.
well,
but he's still a really
But they still
cute-
look so,
similar.
That's true. Okay.
It's the same idea. A handsome woman and a
Right.
feminine man.
Yes,
and those
absolutely.
glasses, can we Justin Bieber,
I don't
I am
even know.
sorry, honey, but what is happening there?
Who is
You
your
are
style?
not going to date a Victoria's Secret model looking like that. You better check that at the door.
Check
Call Selena
yourself.
back.
But
Call
that's back in
Selena.
the day because look at that hair. He doesn't have
yeah.
that hair
He has
anymore.
got, he's got the swoop.
He has the you have that do a little.
But
I'd
he's
go for that.
rocking that do much better than Justin.
I think
baby.
so.
Just want to let you know.
I think so. We're on Team Jake over here. So Nana, then there's always these harsh moments with Nana, but we get to see a softer side sometimes.
Right.
And at the real estate party, they are looking out at the view, and she is sort of talking about how I think Brian says, you just need to move to LA. You're back and forth from Ohio.
You need to be here.
Yeah, you need to be here.
Be here.
Present, mind, body, spirit.
Right here.
Exactly. And she admits that she's afraid
Absolutely.
to move to LA.
Haven't we all been in that position though? I mean, none of us are from LA originally. We
No.
moved out here to follow our dreams.
Yeah.
Make it big.
Where are you from, Tara?
Athens, Georgia.
That's
Whoop,
right. I
whoop.
think I knew that. And Jake.
Newport, Arkansas.
Do it.
Jeez.
Like 7,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
I'm from San Francisco. I'm from the Bay Area.
I
So,
hate that for you.
Oh.
That's amazing, though.
but I will say this on a side note. I've done this little contest with myself that when I first moved here, people would always say, where are you from? And I would say San Francisco. And they'd be like, oh, I thought you were going to say New York, which is weird. After I heard that like 5 times, I stopped saying where I was from and I would just say, where do you think I'm from? And to this day, 95% of the time, I get New York.
I could really see that, honestly.
I
lived there. You
I
do
did
look
too.
like a New York girl because it's just like this cool, I don't know, this cool, like, easy vibe that's just like,
that's
no,
nice.
no
of you to say.
nonsense. I like it.
But everywhere has like a specific feeling to it.
True.
And I think that people attach the feelings to their identity of like where they're from. And that's why I think it's weird that people think that I'm from a certain place just by like talking to me for a couple minutes. Nana is from a certain place and just feels like she said, I just don't feel like I could fit in LA.
See, I think she's very LA.
She totally is. She's
Definitely.
totally cutthroat. She's super smart and independent and like go get 'em. But she says that she feels like there's so much diversity that she's not used to. And we all know Nana likes her little bubble.
Right.
Yes.
And she thinks she's just afraid to let go and just like be part of this multicultural place that she just can't
Possibly
imagine.
grasp it at all.
Yeah, she can't imagine fitting herself in. And Brian says to her, well, you just need to pick a spot, plant a seed, and watch it grow.
Right.
And Nana says, that's the most gay advice I have ever heard you say.
But I mean, I think all of Nana's crazy, what did you just say comments come from the fact that she is from small town
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah.
And I think it's all, I mean, to me, Nana's character is perfect to say most people's prejudices come from not having
Ignorance.
Yeah.
having the exposure. So I can totally get with the fact that she's like,
course.
I can't, LA seems too big for me,
Yeah.
seems too diverse for me, seems too this for me. I'm happy in my little bubble.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't be around, what does she call it? Most gay, bi.
Gay,
diverse.
bi,
Straight. Yeah,
Straight.
whatever.
everything.
She
Yeah.
mixed all of those orientations
Totally.
together.
Totally.
You know what? That's a really good point. And I think that what's interesting about Nana is people who come from small towns and have a certain level of they're sheltered, and you could also call it maybe ignorance, and not that they're not smart, but just in the fact that they haven't been exposed to things
Exactly.
that other people from other places have been. I think what is interesting about Nana is that she just says it. She doesn't make excuses. She's not like, no, that's not true. I'm not racist, or I don't have a prejudice against so and so. Like, a lot of people won't admit that.
True.
But she's just like, yeah, I do. And so what? Like that, there's a reason why I think the way I think. And I mean, obviously, I don't agree with it morally, but it's funny to see, and it's representative of a certain mass
A
of people.
huge chunk in the
True.
middle of the country.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
generally speaking.
Yes, generally speaking.
Yeah, so Nana has this moment where she has this nice, like, soft moment.
I
with
love
Brian.
that.
I did. It was good. That
I
was
loved
a good
it
moment.
too. It was a nice scene. And I think that Bryan and Nana are the ones that clash the most.
Which is the reason why I love the scene, because it's the two of them.
But I feel like they're also extremely alike.
Totally.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very set in their ways.
Right.
Yep.
Speak their mind.
They're just on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they're very much the same. And it's sort of like Nini's character, which where the heck was she?
Where is...
I know you were really upset about that. We were all, but Jake was very...
I was very bummed. You know how I feel about her.
Well.
Was she on the last episode? No. So this is 2 episodes down.
Wait.
What?
No, she was... The last episode was Thanksgiving.
Oh, so she was there.
She was there.
Was.
But I think there was an episode a couple back where
That
we
was-
were missing
okay.
her too.
Yes, and I heard that she didn't do that episode because of Real Housewives of Atlanta filming, because it coincided
Okay.
and she couldn't work it out.
Okay. All right.
She's a
Yeah.
busy lady. She's got a couple different TV shows she's juggling.
Hate that for her.
Uh-huh.
Da-da.
Poor you, Nene Leaks.
Right.
So Nana and Bryan have this nice moment, and it's nice that they pick those characters because, like we said, they clash the most.
Right.
And then they're all great, and they get in the car and they're driving along, and they're like, "Oh no, a sobriety checkpoint." This was another moment in the story where it went a little far for me. Like David with the baby proofing went a little extreme for me. He was too paranoid, and it didn't seem to make sense to his level of paranoia with the character that we know. This, I had a problem with the fact that Bryan was freaking out. He had 1 glass of champagne. Now, I am not saying, okay, put this on the record, that it is okay to drink and drive. That is not what I'm saying. But there is a certain blood alcohol level that you are allowed to have, and your body height and weight and what you eat. I mean, 1 glass of champagne in that guy,
He's
perfectly
pretty tall.
it's
Right.
perfectly legal to drive.
But he had the rum cake too.
That doesn't change your blood alcohol level, does it?
I don't
Look, I have
think so.
tons of Jamaican friends. Eat the right piece of rum cake.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Really?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Okay, well, but anyway,
Right,
in all fairness, he was clearly, you're just like, I'm bringing my drink. It was just a little extreme, his reaction. If I had 1 glass of champagne, I'd be like, I'm good. And you don't ever say you're drinking.
Right.
When they ask you if you're drinking.
Have you had anything to drink tonight? Not enough, officer.
Yeah. That's basically what they said.
Right.
And Nana was maybe a little happy, and she just sort of like, we were at a party, and he just had a little tiny drink, and they're like, get out of the car. Giving him the sobriety check, say the ABCs backwards. That's not a real sobriety
It's like
check.
they would never do that.
They don't. I can't say the ABCs backwards.
No. Who could? No.
I do like the
can't.
last 4 letters and that's it.
I don't even. I
As he
can't.
did.
The ABC test backwards is all about just your train of thought, like how you process the question.
But that's not a real sobriety check question.
No, that's like
They have used it before, yes.
I know, but I don't know. I think they have, and sometimes officers do. I've have a friend that had an experience where an officer used things that weren't technically by the book to determine if you were drunk, and in the court, when they went to court, this person got off because of it. So
As they should.
Yeah, it's a
right.
little crazy.
Well, there was other things too, but that was one of the things. Like she was giving him things that were not. They were too complicated to determine, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So that I don't believe, and if you know the answer, you can tweet us, or
Let us
you
know.
can call in, or
we
you
might
can
be wrong.
I mean,
being us, being it, and let us know.
right. If you've had a DUI experience, we're not asking for that, but we're just
But
asking
yeah,
for a little insight.
and speaking of commenting and tweeting, if you guys are on iTunes, we would love you to. Well, we would love you to go on iTunes, and then
Yes.
once you're there, we would love you to rate and comment
Yes.
and
Yes.
tell a friend.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. It only takes a minute,
And it's free.
It's free. Super easy. We love to hear what you guys have to say.
Yes, and thank you for all the people who have been commenting on YouTube. There's been a
Yes.
few little comments, and I like them. They're cute.
Yeah.
We like to hear if you guys are enjoying or if we can do anything different. And yeah, tell a friend. It keeps the lights on for us over here. So
And we appreciate the light.
inconceivable. I'm gonna try and tie that one in a second. But so yeah. So anyway, so they get pulled over, and I'm just saying that sobriety check test was a little weird. But Bryan freaked out.
But I just had a thought. I was thinking, remember, right before the sobriety check came up, that's when Bryan said to Jane, Nana, I'll get you an interview with my realtor.
Yes.
So Bryan was going down in flames for this sobriety check with the police officer. Did she pull her Second Amendment rights, how dare you, blah, 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 to like distract the officer and take the attention off of him and put it on her to kind of save him? Because
I
Ooh,
see
didn't
what
even
you're
think
saying.
About that.
Yeah, because they didn't. That was one, like you said, that was one of those storylines that we felt like
just didn't really
go.
Yeah.
They only
didn't ever
mentioned
resolve
it.
at all.
Right.
They didn't mention it except for when he told Bryan ended up telling Shania, "Oh, well, we didn't get arrested because I wasn't drunk." But I mean, I think maybe it might have been a breaking point for him to say, "Okay, this is too much. I've been drinking too much." But
I don't know.
it didn't really work because he only had a little bit of champagne. It's not like he was drunk and he's like, "Oh, I have a problem." I mean, I guess they couldn't do that because they don't want to turn it into a drinking problem. But
Yeah.
it was hard to make it all
I'm
come
trying,
together.
Man. I was
know.
trying, you know.
But we did have the end of the episode, that nice little moment that we always have where Bryan decides, okay, enough is enough. I feel like, you know, I think what makes him realize it is maybe everything that kind of came, you know, cumulative. But when Shania says, just give me a little splash about her glass of milk. And then what were some other terms? She used some other terms that like were adult language about drinking.
Right.
I'm just going to finish it off. I'll just
nurse it.
nurse
That's
it.
what she
Yes.
said.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
It's fine. I'll just nurse the rest of this. And she also wanted more cookies, which is what she was hearing from David. So that's when I think they all went, okay, hold on.
Right.
We're being a bad influence. And that's what really made them say the light bulb went off. And then, you know, of course, Shania comes in. They have that moment where she says, you know, nobody's really comfortable with change. I wasn't comfortable with change. And look here, I'm here now. And
It's awesome.
yeah, just embrace it.
Yeah.
Be the change, boys.
There you go.
And, you know, at the end, there was a little soul cycle shout out there.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Bryan got David a Soul Cycle membership because he thought he was gaining weight, which I thought was funny. But we closed the episode with David doing some crunches, and they kind of just, you know, had their little Full House moment.
Yes.
They talked it out, and
With the organic and all those things, so the ornaments and
right,
stuff.
the
I was like,
yeah.
Are those serious? Can you really buy that stuff?
I'm sure.
I don't know.
Please,
I don't know.
yes, I'm sure you can. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not ridiculous.
Right. I was just like, what?
Oh, I'm sure there are some stores that capitalize on like, this is organic wood that was farmed locally by whatever. I don't know.
By
It was
farmers.
absolutely crazy.
By farmers. But I mean, yeah, you know how all that stuff
Yeah.
just gets totally like played and shoved in your
Fad.
face.
It's such
like
a fad.
I mean, I'm into, you know, eating healthy
Yes.
and supporting local growers and all that. But I mean, sometimes again, there's moments where things get pushed a little far in life and in this episode. And they ended up, you know, decorating, David ended up decorating the tree with all organic wood and organic material ornaments.
I'm
because
like, we get it. We get it.
yeah, he wanted everything to be set up for Christmas, and he knew Bryan was getting a little annoyed about how the decorations weren't going to get to come out, and so he said, here, look, this is, even though the baby is going to be born like 4 months after Christmas is over, but whatever. And I'm hoping maybe the next episode will be like a Christmas celebration. That's what I'm thinking.
I
right?
hope so.
But they've decided not to eat and drink. So
Well, you know, that's going to have to change, people. Okay, who does that? It's the holidays. All right, well, do we want to talk about any little tweets we found, or is there anything of significance there? Just that we see some tweets sometimes about, you
Yeah.
know, watch the show and
Yeah, Nene usually tweets just about every night before. Watch
Yeah.
the show.
Well, follow Nene Lakes. What's her handle?
Nene
Nene
Leaks.
Leaks.
Nene Lakes, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm following her, I just forgot. Okay, well, let's just jump straight into predictions then, shall we?
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, well, I'm thinking the next episode is going to be like a Christmas party of some sort. Maybe.
Something.
And this is more of a wish based on what we were talking about, but I'm going to predict it because, you know, anything could happen. And I'm predicting that John Stamos, or Asking Please, will make an appearance as, I don't know if he could be an ex-boyfriend, but I think he could be like a possible someone who comes into, he's either a new doctor or he works on the set, he's part of the new staff or something, and he maybe makes someone a little jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's John Stamos. It doesn't have to be John Stamos, but I think they should do that with somebody. I think they need to have like a little jealousy thing happen.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
Well,
Stamos.
Okay.
My wish list is, when is Matt Bomer going to come
I
on
know,
the show?
we heard
Yes,
about that.
yes.
Speaking of the ex-boyfriend, where is
Right.
he?
It's like, maybe he'll come as like a Santa Claus stripper or something, and he'll be like, I dated him.
You two have some of the best ideas I think I've ever heard.
Well, Ryan Murphy. told me.
We're in the spirit of giving, Ryan Murphy. Give us something.
Yes.
Something.
Any predictions?
I'll go with this holiday party theme, and I think it's going to be where it's everyone, and then Rocky comes back.
Yes.
Her brother comes back.
That's right.
Her brother and Goldie have been dating. Maybe they're a little more serious now. The father's going to be there.
That's
Clay's
right.
going to be. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be a repeat, but a little different from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, how are they going to make that different?
Yeah.
It's
Can I
interesting to
Can
see.
I say something about Goldie's character?
Yeah.
What is going on with her character right now? Like nothing. It's just
I know.
I'm eating
That's a good
and
point.
being cute and like
Well, they
blink,
need
blink.
they need to. You're totally right, especially this
I know.
episode.
I'm like, step it up.
I think they need to pick up on her realizing her dreams to not be a lawyer, but to actually be artistic and creative in the seamstress world.
Right.
Exactly.
They need to touch on that.
That's
and
my
maybe-
wish for her.
Yeah. So maybe you're predicting that they will come back around with this.
I hope so, because this past episode was completely
Right. She was just.
lackluster for her.
For her, for
Something-
sure. And
eat
it had
cookies.
its moments.
Yes.
I mean, I will say I'm ready for the episode because it has to happen. I know everyone's a big happy family. It's great, but sooner or later, Goldie's going to realize, okay, I'm going to have this baby, and how are we really going
And
to
then
fit?
what?
Yeah, and then what? And that has to come out someplace.
Okay.
So
So that's a good prediction too. That will happen somewhere.
that's gonna happen someplace.
Okay, well, we will see where this all goes next week.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Christmas time is a-coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, guys. I am Lauren Leonelli, and you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and my website.
And here's a little cheer about Lauren
Oh, yeah.
Leonelli.
Oh,
yes.
Lauren Leonelli. She make them girls so jelly. Yeah.
Yay! That was a little
It was
cheer.
in my dream, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, Jake had a dream, and that was the cheer, and it's amazing.
Yes.
And you can follow me at Jake_DuPree and watch me on The Real Housewives of Miami AfterBuzz After Show. Yay!
And I am Tara Johnson, and you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at TJPath2Passion. That's all one word.
All right, guys, thank you so much. See you next week.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.